What if I told you that bigger shoulders aren't built by simply pressing heavier weights? You can spend months doing overhead presses, lateral raises, and endless shoulder workouts and still have shoulders that look flat. Why? Because most people aren't training their delts as effectively as they think they are. They use too much weight, lose control, let other muscles take over, and completely miss the part of the movement that makes the shoulders work hardest. Today, we're fixing that. I'll show you the 5 exercises that can transform your shoulder training, and more importantly, how to perform them so your delts actually get the tension. And the last exercise might be the one your routine is missing. Think of your shoulders like 3 teammates. You have the front delts, the side delts, and the rear delts. If you only train one of them, your shoulders can become strong in certain movements, but they won't develop that round, wide, 3-dimensional look. The goal isn't simply to move weight. The goal is to create high-quality tension in the target muscle while keeping unnecessary movement under control. So let's start with the foundation. First, the seated dumbbell shoulder press. This is your heavy builder, but here's where people go wrong. They grab dumbbells that are too heavy, arch their lower back, flare their ribs, and turn the exercise into a full-body struggle. Instead, set your bench around a comfortable upright angle. Plant your feet firmly, brace your core, keep your ribs controlled instead of letting them shoot upward. Start with the dumbbells around shoulder level, then press upward while keeping the weights moving in a natural path. You don't need to slam the dumbbells together at the top. And you definitely don't need to turn every rep into a back bend. Here's the light bulb moment. The weight is only useful if your shoulders are actually doing the work. Think of your torso as the foundation of a skyscraper. If the foundation moves everywhere, the structure above it becomes unstable. Same thing here. Stable torso, controlled press, strong shoulder drive. For most people, 6 to 10 controlled reps is a great starting range, but we're not finished because pressing alone won't give you maximum shoulder width. Next, the exercise everyone thinks they know, the dumbbell lateral raise, and this is where shoulder training goes horribly wrong. You see people swinging the dumbbells up, shrugging their shoulders, and using momentum to launch the weight. It feels hard, but hard doesn't automatically mean effective. Start with a lighter pair of dumbbells. Stand tall. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Now raise your arms out to the sides in a controlled motion. Think about moving your elbows, not your hands. Your hands are simply along for the ride. As your arms rise, avoid aggressively shrugging your shoulders toward your ears. Then lower the dumbbell slowly. That lowering phase matters because you're not just lifting the weight, you're controlling it. And here's an advanced tweak. Try stopping around shoulder height rather than forcing your arms dramatically higher if doing so causes your traps to dominate or your form to break down. The goal, make the side delts feel like the engine, not the momentum. Try around 10 to 20 controlled reps. You may need far less weight than your ego expects. Now we take that same movement and make one important change, the cable lateral raise. Why use a cable? Because the resistance can remain meaningful through more of the movement compared with a dumbbell, depending on the setup. Stand beside the cable, grab the handle with the arm farthest from the machine. Keep your torso stable, then raise your arm outward in a smooth arc. No swinging, no twisting, no launching the weight. And don't turn the movement into a shrug. Imagine your arm is being pulled outward by a string attached to your elbow. That mental cue can help you focus on the side delt instead of obsessing over the dumbbell or handle. Now, let's talk about the muscle many lifters completely neglect, the rear delts. And for that, one of my favorites is the cable rear delt fly. Set the cables around an appropriate height, grab the opposite handle with each hand, then move your arms outward while keeping the movement controlled. The mistake? Turning it into a giant row. If your elbows are driving dramatically backward and your upper back is doing most of the work, you've changed the exercise. Instead, think about moving your arms apart. Your rear delts should help pull your upper arms outward and back. Keep your chest stable, avoid excessive momentum, and control the return. This is where lighter weights often win, because rear delt training isn't a competition to see who can move the biggest stack. It's about creating a clean stimulus. Think precision, not punishment. And now, the fifth exercise, the lean away cable lateral raise. This variation can be extremely useful because changing your body position changes the resistance profile of the movement. Hold on to a stable object, lean slightly away from the cable. Let your working arm begin in a comfortable position, then raise your arm outward with control. The key is not to turn the lean into a dramatic body swing. It's simply a setup that can make the beginning portion of the raise feel more challenging. And this is where the advanced lifter starts thinking differently. Instead of asking, how much weight can I lift? Ask, where in this movement is the muscle being challenged? That question changes everything. Because hypertrophy isn't a trophy for moving the biggest dumbbells. Your goal is to accumulate productive tension over time. And if a lighter weight lets you keep that tension where you want it, it may be far more valuable than a heavier weight that destroys your technique. So let's make this simple. Wrong, heavy weight, swinging reps, shrugging, excessive back arch, short, uncontrolled range of motion, letting momentum do the work. Right, stable body, controlled movement, appropriate resistance, consistent technique, full, comfortable range of motion, and most importantly, making the target muscle earn every rep. Remember, massive shoulders aren't built from one magical exercise. They're built from combining different movements that challenge the delts from different directions, and then performing those movements consistently with enough effort, recovery, and progressive overload. So don't chase fatigue, chase quality tension. That's the difference between simply training your shoulders and actually giving them a reason to grow. Here's your challenge. Pick your favorite shoulder exercise from this list and perform 10 absolutely flawless reps. No swinging, no ego, no wasted movement. Just controlled, deliberate reps. Then ask yourself, did I actually feel the muscle doing the work? Because once you learn to control the movement, you stop simply lifting weights. You start training with purpose. Stay consistent, keep improving your technique, and give those shoulders a reason to grow. Train smart, get stronger, build bigger shoulders.